The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Podbros Network. You can find us, as well as other fantastic podcasts such as Pencil and Ink Review, Another Damn Trivia Show, and The Language of Bromance at podbros.com, as well as on most other fine podcasting services. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to share and enjoy the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to another episode of our Film for Thought series. Our little experiment in random.
Oh, yes, randomness.
Just trying to throw you off like you threw me off last week.
Yes, I know. Yes, yeah. You know, I couldn't remember the word. It was,
So this is just the little part of our podcast where we talk about whatever the heck we feel like in the movie universe, or in this case, what someone else felt like.
Yes, and in this case, our newest, heavily interacting fan threw out something and basically said, "Hey, have you guys done Creed?" And we have not, and I had never watched it because I don't like the Rocky films, whereas Brian really likes the Rocky films, and so
most. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
The franchise, then I'll say, and so I figured he had seen it, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it. I'll watch Creed despite not enjoying the Rocky films, and we can do not a full review, but we can just cover it, say what our thoughts are, and anyone else in the future that has a suggestion for either a film to review or something they'd like to hear, then
and we always like to be timely with our reviews anyway, so
yes.
Never when they come back. No. So yes, Creed.
Yes.
The review you've all been waiting for.
So yes, without too much further ado, this is going to be Creed. Now, we're not going to do director, box office, blah blah blah. We're just going to talk about it, and any names or whatever that come up, they'll just come up.
Yeah, and as always, I say it again, spoilers, so beware.
Yes, okay. Definite spoilers. Alright, so, well, why don't we start with you then, since you are the Rocky fan.
I love Rocky, meaning the first film.
Yep, I figured.
One of my, and I mentioned this on the last podcast, but probably a Desert Island pick for me.
Right.
It's a beautiful film. I love it. They do get kind of bad from there.
Oh, really?
They kind of had their swan song with Rocky. I know people will disagree with me, say, "Oh, Rocky 4 is amazing." It is so overly cheesy, and just the 80s whole, big bad evil Russian guy. It's a fun movie, but it is nowhere near the cinematic achievement that the first film is.
The big bad evil Russian guy, would that be Dolph Lundgren?
It would, indeed, yes.
That would be the new Kindergarten Cop?
Is he? Okay.
He is, yes. Kindergarten Cop 2, that is Dolph Lundgren. And that is out, everybody.
Oh my lord. It's not a tyrant. Anyway, so yeah, Rocky 4 has its charms, but Rocky is really, really one of my favorite films. So yes, I can enjoy other parts of the franchise.
What about
Rocky 5 is another? Okay, Rocky 5 is a total piece of dog shit. A street fight for a box? No, you screwed it up. Okay, now, moving on. But Rocky Balboa, people love that movie and people don't. I am one of the people. I thought it was a really nice button on the series.
Okay, that's another one I haven't seen. So
and it was just kind of beautiful the way they called back kind of Rocky's life, and he takes his Paulie around the town and shows all of Adrian's. Like I said, spoilers already, but Adrian has spoilers for any Rocky universe. How we put it that way? For anything in the Rocky universe, Adrian has died. So he takes Paulie along this tour. It's just really kind of touching, and then then you kind of have to get over the hump. Okay, this 60-year-old man is going to fight someone that's less than half of his age, but
and probably way more in shape than he is.
He's going to not be dead at the end of it. Okay, so once you get over that hump, I think it's a really fun, enjoyable movie.
Okay,
and just like I said, just a kind of perfect ending for that character. And that's why kind of Sly was really reticent to do this. Right. He felt the same way. Like, did everything wanted to do. Don't really need this character to come back, but the director was insistent.
He is the guy that wrote Rocky. Like he would know.
Yeah, and so like the first in the series, I believe that he didn't write. Even though I don't know, some people are unsure whether you call this a Rocky film or not. I mean, it's in the Rocky universe, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would call it sort of a loose sequel, as it were.
Yeah,
because it really isn't about Rocky anymore.
It's kind of the Silmarillion to Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
if I got that pronunciation.
Yeah, I believe
Silmarillion, something like that. Yeah,
but
yes, you get the idea. So yeah, maybe not a canon, or well, I guess they do try to keep it canon. I think they have to fudge a couple things with his age. Like the age doesn't really quite line up for me, for this kid to be as old or as young as he is.
What year did the one come out before? Obviously, beginning of this film, Apollo is dead. Is Apollo alive in the other Rocky films?
He dies in 4.
He dies in 4. Okay, so when did 4 come out? When was that?
4 came out, I believe that's going to be like 87? I don't know.
So he would be my age.
85.
He would be my wife's age. So he would be 30.
And I think he's quoted, I don't know. Either way, I think they kind of fudge a little thing with the numbers.
I can buy him being late 20s at the most. I think.
There's your screenshot. I'm showing Paul a screenshot of
and
Apollo. Pretty horrible screenshot. Thanks, IMDb. But
Also, should that really be in the screen thing
Probably
for when you're watching? All right.
Yeah, well, I guess we're assuming everyone's seen it that's going to see it at this point.
Maybe.
Yeah, someone's really waiting on until they're done making all the Rockies, and then they had to go and make this one, and then they're just going to watch them all at once.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, so other than, I think there was maybe some of the accounting doesn't add up on things, but I don't know. Either way.
Right.
I don't know. I'm happy to weigh in with my thoughts, but I'm kind of interested as a non-Rocky person, what you thought of this movie.
Okay, well...
What you thought of, and then the character Rocky as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so... Obviously, as I've said, I am not a Rocky fan. I did not enjoy...
He has other wonderful qualities, people. Don't rake him up
in
the coals for it.
For whatever reason, I just couldn't get into Rocky. I've not... I know that...
Is that true of boxing films in general, you think? Or...
I can't tell you any other boxing films I've really seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the bare knuckle fighting in Snatch, but aside from that, I couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe one day I'll get around to seeing Southpaw. I mean, yes, generally sporting films not my forte. Okay. So let's go with that. And obviously, I probably never would have watched this had it not been for this. So I sat down, not knowing really what happens in the Rocky films. I had a very, very rough understanding that most of the films he actually loses the fight through just points. Like obviously he goes the round, he goes the distance, but doesn't necessarily win all the time, which I like. Because you don't always win, with the exception of people that do. But anyway,
I think he's only lost twice.
Well, that's the thing.
Rocky 1 tie, Rocky 2 win, right. Rocky 3 lose and win.
Okay.
Rocky.
I'm not going to ask about that.
Rocky 4 win. I mean, after the guy killed Apollo, and Rocky 5 win. But even though that's a stupid street fight,
right.
And there's no so he won a brawl. Okay, great. And then Rocky 6 goes the distance, but just like in Rocky 1, I said tie is draw, so it goes to the previous the champ retains the belt.
Right.
Because, yeah. So that's pretty much what happened to
Balboa. It doesn't always win, which is nice because if you do have a character that always wins, then it gets a bit stale very quickly. And so going into this, I didn't really know what to fully expect. I'll say my main takeaway from this is it clearly wasn't Michael B. Jordan's fault that Fantastic Four was shit.
No, because he was an amazing actor.
He was fantastic in this.
I mean, have you seen Fruitvale Station?
I have not. This
will break your heart completely. But yeah, he has serious acting chops.
This is the third film I've seen Michael B. Jordan in the other two being Fantastic Four and Chronicle. So, yeah, I had no problem with him.
I mean, he's not a normally bulky guy, but he got ripped for this movie.
Yes, he did.
He got really shredded. Did. Yeah.
And I like to think that he asked them to do the end credits the way they did so he could have loads of shots of him bulked up. Be like, this is my reel right here. This is on a loop in my house.
Especially when I invite the ladies over.
But yeah,
so yeah, you love Michael B. Jordan.
Really like Michael B.
What
Jordan.
What did you think of the story itself? Not being and maybe it's familiar with that first film, but there were so many. It is laden with callbacks to the first film.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
it was,
I don't mind it at all. It's just perfect nostalgia for me.
Well,
I mean, he's wearing a shirt at one time that's like a Rocky quote, like in his training.
Right.
That's so meta, like in there, because that wouldn't be a shirt that's produced.
Right. And I also think that I fully appreciate that what they're doing is, it felt like they were trying to create a new saga.
They're it's like the Phoenix kind of rising, but with a new hero.
Yeah, and I would watch more of this guy. I definitely enjoyed this character more than I enjoyed the Rocky and Rocky. So I don't know it. I'm also not a Sylvester Stallone fan, so maybe that also has something to do with it.
Copland, man, come on, Copland.
However, he was good in this. Like he
got. Can I say? Yeah, because this is where I wanted to open off my remarks. He got. I mean, and I still hate putting so much importance on the Oscars because they're not. But he got screwed out of Best Supporting Actor. I'm sorry, Mark Rylance. You had a great performance in Bridge of Spies.
Yeah.
But it was so subtle and subdued. I mean, what? This was the perfect iteration of this character. As we've seen it, like, it was just such a natural progression of who that character would become.
Yeah.
Just essentially turning into the Mickey character from the first film.
Yeah.
That started out, and oddly enough, they're the same age. Burgess Meredith and Sly Stallone when they first played the trainer.
Yeah. And I really did enjoy that Rocky clearly has no understanding of technology. That scene where he's like,
a simple guy.
I'm just going to take this picture. And he's like, well, what if you lose it? It's in the cloud, and he does just look up. It's like, what?
That's the thing. Yeah, he wasn't born with much of a brain, so I had to use my body. That's and Adrian wasn't born with much of a body, so she had to use her brains. That he knows that's one of his failings. He's not a smart guy, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He looks out for his community. He looks out and tries to do what's right. That's just why he's such a great guy to root for.
Yeah.
He just, and I don't care that he's not, the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Probably not in the top 10 if there's 11
yes.
people in the room.
But still, he fantastic. I also did kind of like, I think it was very smart of them to give Rocky cancer in this because they don't know if or when a sequel would be made. They might not.
Sly said he'd be on for more,
and that's fine.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But there's always the risk of something happening.
You just watched it last night. It's been since ever it became was first able to be rented. I watched it, so maybe like 3 or so months ago. But isn't there something about it being in remission? Or something near the end of the film.
He basically says he's now willing to fight it and go through all the treatments, and he was well enough to be at the fight and just to train. But at no point did they actually officially say
so just
done.
That or whatever.
I mean, maybe it did go
I
into
there was
remission.
some line about there like he's responding to the.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
like
he can be responding to the treatment, but that doesn't mean that. It's done.
No.
So
glass half full, glass half empty.
Yes,
whatever you want to go.
But yeah, so I kind of like that they are leaving it open to, should anything happen, they are able to go forward. They've had Rocky start the kids' training and help out and all that, so they can move on with that. And the only thing I didn't really like as much as I guess I could have. And this is going to sound strange because of what I am like. The romantic subplot didn't seem important. Like,
I think it was.
There wasn't. I mean, I don't mean as in like to his character or something like that. I just mean that it didn't feel like there was enough there. As I said, sounds weird coming from me, but there should have been more.
You wanted more romance in your Rocky movie.
There's obviously the scenes at the beginning, towards the beginning, when they're first going out in commas, because they're not officially doing it. That was fine, and then all of a sudden, it's like you get a quick relationship montage, as it were, of the next couple of times.
You gotta have a montage in a Rocky film, okay? It's law.
No, yes, yeah.
You got multiple.
But very quick relationship montage, which ends with them kissing at some point. And then after that, they have sex once, implied a second time as well, but I'm not going to go into that. And then it's like she's just there on the sideline, like during the fight, and it was like you're kind of building up this great interplay between the two of them, and then the last half of the film, there's fuck all there. It's like she becomes a side character at that point.
I would agree a little bit to the end there, but I think the film was more about Rocky passing the torch than any.
I fully agree with that, and it makes sense. But they kind of built up this relationship as being like, obviously, this is going to be the new thing he's fighting for. And then they're like, crap, we've got 40 minutes left. Let's focus on Rocky now.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's probably a couple of deleted scenes with her, something like that just maybe had to be edited.
Yeah, just kind of felt like a bit of a dropped thread, as it were.
For me, I don't know. I mean, have you even seen the first Rocky?
I've seen the first 30 minutes.
But I mean, it was such to me, like a beautiful mirror of how he woos Adrian. That first Rocky film is just so quiet and unassuming.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, it's a very just low key 70s film. Up until pretty much the fight in Rocky. It's a lot of quiet dialogue scenes, and they're building this relationship. And I thought that's what they were going for here.
Oh yeah.
So as many. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I felt that they were building it quite well, and I figured there was definite parallel between them. But did the same thing happen in Rocky? Did she just kind of fall to the wayside for the last half, or?
No, she's Adrian. The whole.
But no, yeah,
but so it's a little bigger.
Exactly. Well, that was the thing. That's what it felt like it was missing for me. It was just at the end, she's obviously there kissing him right at the end.
Well,
but there's no just like there's no
and
moment
it's also an updated relationship. So that was like, as I was about to say, there are so many parallels to Rocky in this film. But what I thought it did well on its own was really kind of establishing his relationship with her in a way that we hadn't seen. Like, he has different demons than Rocky does. He had, different things he's struggling with. She has different demons than Adrian had. So while they're, like, the wooing or courting process is kind of similar, like, hey, I like you, I'm going to keep at you until you like me. Yeah. That's similar. But I really felt they established Adonis's world as his own.
No, they did, and I
really loved that about this movie.
I get both arguments for it. It was just, I don't know, I just didn't feel like once they kissed, it was almost as if like, okay, now the relationship is just they have a relationship and that's it. Like there wasn't any more riding on it at that point.
I still think it was probably a time constraint type thing.
Yeah, I agree, and I get that. It's just I understand that there were plenty of needed points in later in the film, but that is the one thing I
cut out any of the boxing scenes for a
boxing film
for the pretty girlfriend to be crying in the scenes or something for a minute. But there could have been a shot or to remind you of the emotional weight that is invested. But,
again, like I said, I feel weird saying it because
yes, you're usually less is better or less is more.
Yeah, but I think it's because they were like very much like that he's probably never had a relationship quite like this before. Like this is sort of becoming his family now, his world, and then it was like we're just going to completely ignore that side now while we deal with this, and then boxing match. Like it was I think it was just from a
there was like an embrace or something right at the end, right?
There is,
okay.
Like I said, at the very end, she gets up there, she kisses him, and that so I'm not saying she's gone, but just from a narrative point of view, just watching it, like there was a nice ebb and flow, and then all of a sudden that half just went away for a bit.
But and I think partly of that too is Rocky echoes Mickey in the first film where he says "women weaken legs." So he's kind of telling Adonis, you need to take a step back from this relationship right now. You got to focus on the match of your life right now.
Right.
So,
which is the exact opposite of what happens at the end of this one. It's Rocky's a pimp. I like that.
Yeah.
Rocky's turned into a pimp at the end of this one.
But I loved, like I said, just say it again, Sylvester in this movie.
He was really good.
I feel like I really wanted him to get that Oscar, and like it just felt like it was his time. And oh well.
All right.
But great job by I know we didn't want to go over names too much, but Tessa Thompson as Bianca, I thought it was a great newcomer. I know she's been in other things, but this is the biggest thing probably.
No, really good.
And Felicia Rashad as the mom.
Being a person with moderate hearing loss myself, I was really glad that they have this person who has
like you can have a strong female lead that something like that
with progressive hearing loss, and I have no idea if I think my ears will very, very slowly get worse, but it sounded like hers will get worse a lot faster than mine.
It was just a beautiful little wrinkle. Like she's this musician who is eventually not going to be much like what not going to be able to hear her music. So she's trying to create as much in the time she has, which is just a wonderful bit of writing in there. I don't know. I loved it. I loved it now. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like the final boxing match was like well shot and all that, but the first boxing, like full on boxing match you see him doing with not the one in Mexico. I think the next one where the camera does not stop moving. And it just goes round the entire fight and ends when the fight ends. Like that's some of the best cinematography I've seen.
And it's very true to the way the Rocky fights have been shot. That's some of the best bits of the film. Those films are the way the boxing is shown. Yeah,
I mean, I have no idea if it genuinely was one shot. Or if it's a composite with some very nice editing and stuff, but like I love well crafted stuff like that. Like, I fully appreciate.
The film looks incredible. It just is an incredible looking film. It's got a captivating score to it. There's very little that I wasn't on board for.
And some of the things I enjoyed that I didn't fully understand when it started, and then I got it when, like, for instance, when he's doing the training and he's running down the streets with the motorbikes and the quad bikes, and then he's outside the gym.
Definitely another callback. Yeah,
so he's outside the gym at the end with Rocky looking down on him, and the camera goes around, and you realize you can't hear anything that's being said at this point. It's all the music, and he's very clearly talking, and you see him shouting up, but you can't hear a word. I like that. For a second I was like, okay, can I kind of hear it? No, I want to. You know what? Doesn't matter.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I loved all of his little training bits, and of course, at the very end, you have to do the stairs.
Yes,
and I love just seeing. It's a little humbling, to see Rocky struggle doing that, or a little sad even, but he's an old man now.
And then just the fantastic line, which I wonder if Sylvester Stallone wrote it or how much he likes saying it. Right at the end, when he just says, "You can see your whole life from these stairs." And it's like, well, you can see your entire cinematic life. That was the start of your career.
It was some very nice writing.
It was a nice, just a nice moment. Like, obviously worked on 2 points, depending on how well you knew the characters. And
I would put this at number 2 if we're calling this a Rocky film, as right behind the first one.
I was going to say, I imagine the first one would be
yeah.
So basically, it seems like you enjoy origin boxing films.
Right. We've gone over this multiple times. I'm a original. I'm always going to weight the original more than a sequel.
Right.
That's just the nature of it. But there are a few exceptions.
Dark Knight.
Thank you. Godfather Part 2, actually.
Fair enough.
I do like more than Godfather 1, but they're both masterpieces.
Right.
But yeah, because obviously you're establishing the characters, and then any sequels, you're just on the hit the ground running, essentially. But yeah, I just love. I think this was a perfect, just parallelization, or just another beautiful way to set up a new character in this world while still honoring the old one.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, from using the font, the Rocky font, the big yellow letters, and to him wearing the American trunks that Apollo wore, that he wore in Rocky 4.
Yeah. I knew the second I saw that. I was like, okay, that's clearly from the
trunks. Oh yeah. They just have an older design to them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a great movie. It's not just a boxing movie. It's a great, just personal story.
No, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought.
I'm happy to hear you say that. Yeah.
It doesn't make me want to go back and watch the Rocky films, but yeah, if they make more of this, then I'll definitely at some point see them. And I can only say thank you to Aussie Nerd for suggesting it and making me watch it, because
you probably would not have seen it otherwise, would you?
No, as I said at the beginning, if it had not been suggested and we'd taken it up, then I would not have seen it, and I am now glad that I had. So,
well, good on you, Aussie Nerd. Yes.
So, yeah, and if at any point in the future you guys want to hear us do, obviously, this was a more quick form review than we normally do. Just our thoughts, really, more than critiquing. Then let us know what you'd like us to see. If at all possible, do try and make it something that's easily available, because at least one of us might have trouble running into it. Or any other ideas you might have for Film for Thought. We have one or two kind of on the back burner right now, so we do still have more.
Ideas in the works here, but yes, we can always use more input.
Yes, and need also
input. Sorry,
input.
Like Michael Scott have to announce, but it's a good impression when you have to say who it is afterwards.
Yes.
Here's what Ronald Reagan would sound like in a bank. Hi, I'm Ronald Reagan. All right, well, this has gone off the rails thanks to me.
Yes, it has. So yes, do get a hold of us on Twitter at Blokebusters, Facebook.com Blokebusters. You can email us blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com. You can get a hold of us on Instagram. I honestly don't know how you would do that or what you would do, but you can do that. So we're on there. Just search Blokebusters. You should recognize the logo. I think
we're just not on LinkedIn, Tumblr, and Snapchat.
Yes. At this point, those are the main three. And we do have a website, blokebusters.webs.com. If you have 30 seconds, just go check it out.
Rate and review.
Yes.
Rate and review on iTunes.
Do rate and review us.
Yes. Please.
And be 100% honest with your 5-star reviews. We really like it.
And all others lie until it's a 5-star review.
Well, that's the thing. If you think it's 5 stars, be 100% honest. If you don't, then just give us a 5 stars. Just don't review it. Just give 5 stars. Click. That's it.
Really
That's all
us,
you need to do.
Encourages us to keep going on with this crazy thing. So
yes, which we probably do indefinitely.
Yeah, probably anyway. So but still.
yes, please. All
right. Taking up enough of your time now, I think. Good folks.
Yes. I've been Paul.
I've been Brian.
See you guys.